been on some awesome fishing trips this year, but the coolest one, bar none, was Reindeer Lake on the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border. It's a giant lake. Our base camp for this mission was Lawrence Bay Lodge. It was a sweet base camp, and our goal was to catch huge northern pike and some lake trout.
Whoa, look at this big guy. Holy smokes, grab the tail of that, Nick. That is a huge, huge pike.
The first 3 days we tackled northern pike, and we caught some good ones, including my new personal best, this 43-inch northern pike.
Reindeer Lake giant, huh?
Absolutely. Pierre's been kicking my butt all day, but I think I got back in the win column here.
Sweet.
As you can see, we also got some sick drone footage. As crazy as the Reindeer Lake northern pike bite is, the bite that I really want to talk to you guys about is the half day of lake trout fishing that we did at the end of the trip. So when we were there, it was a couple weeks before the spawn, so that means that for the most part, most of the lakers in the lake were still congregated down in deeper holes. And you can trust me that there are a ton of lake trout in this lake. So that means some of these holes were absolutely stacked. For the first hour, it was actually impossible to get your bait to the bottom without a lake trout intercepting it. I've never been on a panfish bite this good, let alone lake trout.
It's amazing how they're so concentrated in that real dense stuff on the point. Well, there's one. Decent one. There we go, cool.
There you go.
Nice.
That's a nice fish.
How do you like that? Canada, fishing at its finest. We're up on one of the biggest lakes in the world, Reindeer Lake. It's Saskatchewan and Manitoba border at Lawrence Bay Lodge. And we're up here to hunt some giant jacks. Now most people come up here in the spring looking for these beauties, but we're up here late summer, which is late summer in our home state of Minnesota, but it's early fall up here, and this can be a bonanza for catching tons of big pike like this. So join Nick and I as we explore Reindeer Lake out of Lawrence Bay Lodge. If you like to chase pike, you've probably heard of Reindeer Lake. Straddling the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border, Reindeer Lake boasts more than 2,000 square miles of surface area and is the 9th largest lake in all of Canada. Lawrence Bay Lodge is located on the southern end of the lake. Its modern cabins and main lodge were built with natural logs and will be our home base for the next week. Since we're here in early fall, the first place we're going to look for the big pike reindeer's famous for is on its steep weed beds. Here's one. That's actually a nice one.
Whoa.
There we go.
Whoa, that is a good.
Nice, there we go.
Wow.
Sweet, I thought it was a little fish right away. Very cool.
You want a
Nice.
net?
Yeah, we might as well net this one, Nick. That was really awesome. It was just a little tick tick and then it felt like a spinner, but it was actually a really nice fish. Sweet plastics. We've had a big cold front, so he's right under the motor. He's right over here.
Where do you want
A lot
me?
of times he's right over here, Nick. We'll do it on this side.
Okay. There we go.
Like any fish, plastics, when it's tough, can be great, but one thing I'll say about jack fishing up here, I would never, ever, ever come to Canada and not have a big bag of plastics because they produce so many big jacks like this. This is a great, great start to the morning. Nick and I got up here late yesterday. We got to fish for a little bit, and now this is our second spot of the morning, and it's already looking to be a good day. Oh, there he is, huh? Beautiful, beautiful jack. Reindeer Lake is so big and there's so many places to fish, and it's full of beautiful pike like this, huh? Look at that mouth on him. Sweet. All right, get it back and get more. There's lots of these to be had.
Let's do it.
Look at that guy, huh? So in the fall like this, a lot of times the fish are deeper. So what I'm fishing with right now, and this fish is great through the weeds, this is just a VMC swim bait head. It's only a 1/2 ounce. Then I've got a 6-inch big bite tube here, and this is just a great bait. It just glides real slow, finds its way through the weeds. The tube compresses so I can get a really good purchase on the hook, and then I've just got a little shank of 30-pound titanium. And bass flipping gear is really all you need for this. So we've got 7'4" bass flipping sticks up to 7'11", and then for some of the bigger stuff, I did bring St. Croix's musky downsizers. But bait cast equipment with 30 to 50 pound Suffix performance braid, handful of wire, some leaders like this in your bass flipping sticks, and you're set. Nice one, Nick. Sweet. Super sweet. That was really cool. So that's the thing, it's all about experimenting. Nick's throwing a spinnerbait, and so often, whether you're pike or muskie fishing,
It's one way to release them.
having a spinner just gets those big aggressive fish, and a spinnerbait's great because it of course can get down into the cover. You can work it over the cover. And then I'm just kind of following up with a little plastic and just pitching it in these little holes in the cabbage, and it's proven to be a dynamite combo.
Yeah, you know, like Jer said, we've been throwing a plethora of baits so far, trying to figure out what they want. You know, I'm running a spinnerbait right now. Spinnerbaits, jerk baits, a lot of that kind of stuff is really a big deal for pike. It's pretty traditional. But like Jer said, it's important not to overlook plastics and rubbers, swim bait, tubes and stuff like that. In particular, especially if you're a musky fisherman, you know this, that rubber can be a big deal when you're fishing fish that are really pressured, or if it's a cold front. In this particular condition, over the last few days, the temperatures have been really, really low. Nighttime temperatures have been, you know, way down into the 40s, so water temperatures have dropped quite a bit. So I would say, especially when it's a cold front like this, make sure somebody in the boat has a plastic on, because sometimes it can be a really big deal in conditions like this.
The trips I've done to the far north in Canada like this, of course hard baits work, flies, especially in the spring, are dynamite, but plastics, man, I just can't tell you how important they are, whether they're the, you know, just straight, you know, minnow profile. Tubes are just absolutely perfect to have. And then of course big swim baits or grubs are other great options, but it's really about profile. You want a decent sized bait. This isn't bringing up your 3 or 4 inch smallmouth stuff. You want, you know, 5, 6, 7, even, you know, 8-inch, 9-inch baits like that, because the pike will certainly go for them. They're not intimidated by size, but the great thing about pike is they're not like muskies. They'll bite smaller presentations, which means you can fish with lighter gear, and it makes the experience that much more fun. Good one? Yep. Oh yeah, nice fish. Whoa. Nick's catching fish. I love it. No doubt. Holy cow. Oh, Nick! No, you didn't.
What in the world? Ah,
Who is this guy?
that is unbelievable.
One thing about pike, and a lot of fish for that matter, when you get good green weed beds, fish love them, whether it's spring, summer, or fall. And right now, you know, in the fall, those deeper weeds really seem to be the fish magnets. And I don't care if you're fishing, you know, crappies, if you're fishing walleyes, if you're fishing bass, muskies, or big pike like we are now. You find, you know, cool water, you get those deep green weeds, man, everything loves them. Just loves them, and they're a hoot to fish. There he is. Nice one. Nice one, boys.
There you go. I may
Yeah.
even net them for you.
I think I can grab this one,
got
unless you
him?
want to. There you got the net handy, might as well use the old Stowmaster. Cool. blind one. That's why I got that one. How do you like that? Cool. Nice pike. This is a really, really cool technique. So depending on the habitat that you're fishing, of course, presentation makes a big difference in how many fish you catch out of it and how you can get the lures to the fish. So this is really, really dense weeds. You'll find areas where there are less weeds and areas where it's really thick. But when you get that really thick cover, it's important for the fish to see the bait. So if you're throwing a bucktail over the top, a lot of times the fish just won't respond to it because they can't find it or see it. So we're using heavier jigs, just like you would bass fishing, to punch down into the cover, and bingo, we're catching beautiful, beautiful jacks. Who wouldn't love to catch these things all day long, huh? Oh yeah, great pike, great, great pike. He's got that cool little yellow knob on his head, doesn't he? Sweet, get this one back and we're gonna go catch some more. That's just amazing how you can see I was just shaking cover like that. When you get in this dense stuff, whether you're fishing, you popped off, wasn't that big anyway. You get in this dense stuff, whether it's a spinner bait, a lot of floating baits like the super shad, even a jig like this, if you get caught in cover, don't pull. I'll just shake the weeds with the rod. And what it does is it just alerts fish in the area that there's something there. We do this with muskies all the time, where you like purposely try to get a spinner bait hooked up in the weeds, and you just shake the weeds, and then when you snap, pop it free, the fish is already found, keyed into knowing there's something going on in that area, and boom.
And one thing that's also important to remember is, you know, this isn't exclusive to pike and muskie too. If you're a bass guy or a walleye guy, when you're fishing around rocks, when you hit the rock, you know, and it's like a quick pause, and that often elicits strikes. It's sort of the same thing too when you get stuck on the weeds and you pop it off. A lot of times that's what gets the fish to bite.
Good one. Nope. Oh yeah, that's a good one. There we go. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. I just saw the mouth open. It's fun. It's not as big as I thought it was, but man, oh man, when you see that big mouth come out of the weeds, it is fun. It is cool. We are really starting to crack. Jigs in the weeds, I mean, anytime you come to a new fishery or you're out for the day for the first time, it takes a little while to figure out what the program is. So you might have your confidence bait. It might be a spoon for pike. It might be a jerk bait. It might be a crankbait, but experiment. You know, one of the things I always talk about that Al taught me in fishing was think about presentation two ways. One, horizontal, and two, vertical. So a lot of times we change color, we change size, we do all these things, but we don't think about if the bait's moving up and down or horizontal. And the fish today on this lake want things that are moving up and down more so than horizontal. Once we made that change, it's been lights out. Oh, got him, big one, big one. Oh, and he popped off. That was a sweet fish, man. Oh, nice one. Oh yeah, nice one.
That's a good one.
Holy cow.
No!
Oh, Nick.
No!
We are losers. There we go. Nice one. What's amazing is like in the spring, you know, there's concentrations of fish in really shallow water, but there's so many fish up here, you really end up having the same deal. These deeper weed beds end up having just massive concentrations of big pike. They're just loaded in these things, just like they would be in the shallow bay. So everybody thinks, oh, you got to get up here, you know, the first month after ice out or whatever. But man, oh man, it's awesome fishing right into early fall.
Unreal.
Look at that. Reindeer Lake Giant, huh?
Absolutely. Jared's been kicking my butt all day, but I think I got back in the win column here.
Sweet. Wow, like right there. That was so cool, just flipping into holes. That is sweet.
Wow.
That's a chunky jack. Look at that, dude. It's just amazing how fish can get tuned into a presentation. Like, if you're not fishing with something that's going vertical, it just doesn't seem like you get nearly the action. There's a decent one. Boat side. How cool is that? They are just loaded in here, Nick. I mean, it's like every cast, it's anticipation of fish like this.
When I started seeing cabbage, you hooked up.
It's amazing. No weeds, no fish. Find weeds, find fish. Woo! Good deal, Nicholas. So many of these things up here. It's unbelievable. Another beautiful jack. See, dude. So fun on this bass gear. You know, the rod that I end up using probably the most is this is a Legend X from St. Croix. It's a 7'4" heavy power fast action. I've got it spooled with 40-pound Suffix 832, and the reel is a big deal. I like fast reels for the most part, but I go with the 7.3 on these pike trips. This is the Daiwa Zillion HD, extra wide handle. It's got the T-wing system. I can throw baits a long ways, and I've got a lot of power. So the 8s are great, but a lot of times I want to fish a little bit slower, and sometimes you need that power pulling these bigger baits. So that's my combo of choice. Another big one. Yeah, there we go. Sweet.
Size?
They get caught in the cabbage. Yeah, big one.
You need the net?
Yeah, it's not this one. Sweet, sweet. Watch him come up and lunch it too. That was awesome. Here you go. Here's your shot, Nick. Take it, buddy. Sweet. We got a nice one.
Whoa.
Woo!
No way, bud.
Good deal. Cool, look at this fish. Man, Nick and I have been having an awesome time catching tons of jacks and some real giant fish that Reindeer is so well known for. So check this beauty out. If you want to have a great trip, catch tons of giant jacks, come visit Lawrence Bay Lodge. And you'll see how awesome a trip like this can be. You're gonna feel like one of the best fishermen in the world. That was great, man.
Nice job, bud.
Cool. Woo! Fishing trips are always fun, especially if your destination is Canada. This time for us, it was Lawrence Bay Lodge in northern Saskatchewan on famous Reindeer Lake. The food and accommodations definitely did not disappoint. And the pike fishing, as you've seen, there is no shortage of giant pike. But on our last day, we wanted to spend a little time chasing another species Reindeer has in abundance, lake trout.
Ooh, here we go.
Instant?
Yup.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's freaking unreal.
This is insane.
This is absolutely ridiculous. And I thought the pike fishing was good.
You got something good on there, bud.
Pretty solid fish.
Jeez, that's a
Pretty
sweet
solid.
fish, dude. That is awesome, man.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. There's one.
I think we're gonna get a couple more like that.
Wow, unbelievable. I mean, it's just as fast as you get it down there, right?
Well, it's faster than you can get it down there.
This is fish in a barrel, man. We came up here for the pike.
Yeah.
Literally, we doubled up as
Get out of here,
soon as we
Wayne.
get it down.
Yeah,
Look
Johnny,
at the size of these things.
they're pretty good.
We're just using, you know, the whole deal is something heavy to get down there. I've got a crippled herring on. Nick's just fishing with a heavy jig. It's just all it takes. There we go.
I just came on the reel up.
It is as fast as you drop it down. This is definitely
It's
the best
silly.
trout bite I've ever
Oh,
experienced,
easily.
ever.
There we go. It's like, well, I'm just gonna stop here. Oh, there's a trout on it.
Okay, we think we're at like 8, so let's just make this 10 with a double here. Well, we kept that clicker going for the next 4 hours, and our total at the end, 131. It was some of the funnest lake trout fishing we've ever experienced, and we still had time for one more pike. Oh,
Oh yeah.
that's
Yup.
a tanker. That's a tanker. Yeah, Nick,
Wow.
that is the fish we came up here for. Woo!
Incredible.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a great fish. Wait till you see this thing. That was so cool, just watching that yellow tube in the cabbage. And like this fish just swam through this opening. I didn't see it open its mouth, but my yellow tube was gone. Whoa, look at this big guy. Holy smokes, grab the tail of that, Nick. That is a huge pike. Hey man, I tell you what, spring is a great time to catch big pike in the shallows, but coming up here in the fall, man, you fish so many cool spots. The trout are up too. It's just a beautiful time with nobody here, and big fish are abundant. Cool.
That's a sick fish. Look
That
at
is a
its
sweet
back.
fish.